We are awakening together. This is our weekly gathering we hold online. For more information, visit our website, awakening-together.org. We'd love to see you there.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. Let me get my face. Well, that was fun. Anne thinks it's crisp in Florida. I asked her, what is it, 65 degrees or something really chilly there? And I thought I saw a new kitty at Cindy's house. And Laura was talking about a golden kitty. I'll bet I don't see Laura's face on the screen. I do see Ellen. Hi, Ellen. So let's see. What we do now is we talk about our statement of purpose. And our statement of purpose is as follows. We are an assembly of equals. We are an assembly of equals joined in common purpose, awakening to one true self. Within an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, and many symbols, we seek to discern one truth and to rest in its embrace. And we also, we have 5 core values, and when we give the homily, we pick the core value that we feel most closely represents what we're going to talk about. And so I have chosen core value number 5, which is we accept all forms as temporary appearances, permitted through enduring awareness of self. We live this value by honoring all appearances and all experiences while continually reflecting on changeless truth. And that went by so fast that I'm going to read it again. And here it is again. We accept all forms as temporary appearances, permitted through enduring awareness of self. We live this value by honoring all appearances and all experiences while continually reflecting on changeless truth. Whew, that was Troubadours of Divine Bliss. We've had them here on Sounds of Awakening before. It's a beautiful song. Pardon me. It's time now for our prayer. And before I start the prayer, I just, or maybe it's part of the prayer, I just want to be very clear that mind is very intent on getting things right today. So what I'm going to do is ask mind to step aside, so that what comes through the heart, and that's where truth comes from. And I'm going to ask, just to humbly speak what's given me to speak. And I'm going to ask that we all tune in through our hearts so that we can all hear what there is to be heard. And with this prayer, I express my gratitude and my willingness. Forever grateful, forever willing. Amen. And Connie's going to read for us. I know y'all are shocked. It's Connie. She picked Connie to read again? Yes, she did. My partner on my path, my dear sister Connie, is going to read to us from Romans chapter 8, 13, and 14. But Connie, before I turn it over to you, I have a little something I want to say. So let me just say that in the readings, you will hear reference to the question that you asked. This will also be referred to as what you come to learn. And So I'm going to tell you what that means, what it's referring to when it says the question or what you came to learn. And this is from Romans chapter 2. It says, imagine yourself with this idea, for this was the idea that you had. What if nothing was as it is? What if I could make something completely different and make it whatever I want? What would that be like? Romans chapter 2 says your idea was just a curiosity, a daydream of exploration, and really nothing at all. Since the first question asked, what if nothing was as it is, sets up an impossible hypothesis and one that can never be true. But that's you folks who are familiar with the Course in Miracles might recognize that as the tiny mad idea is how the Course in Miracles refers to it. This is the question that's referred to. I'm going to read that one more time. What if nothing was as it is? And what if I could make something completely different and make it whatever I want? What would that be like? One more thing I want to say before I actually let Connie read, and that is that the you that is referred to in this reading is not the thinking mind. It is not Shauna or Jan or Sana or Judy or Val. It is referring to the one mind. And finally, I'm going to say, as I said in the prayer, let's listen to this with our hearts. And I'm going to turn this over to Connie. Thank you, Connie.
NTI Romans chapter 8. Sorry. The world and all that you think about the world is illusion. There is not one thought that you have about the world that is true, except that the world has no truth in it. This is a true thought. This is a true thought given you by me and echoed through Jesus. This is what he meant when he said he had overcome the world. This is what he meant when he said that the kingdom is not of this world. Jesus learned through willingness to see that the world is not truth, and truth is not of the world. The mind that believes in the world believes what it experiences to be true, and so it lives the experience as if it is true, and it suffers heartache. But the mind that accepts the Spirit's interpretation of the world accepts that the world is not true, and so it does not suffer its experience because it has accepted that truth is beyond experience. This mind knows peace because it also knows that which isn't true cannot affect the truth. Life is not in the world. Life is beyond the world. The Spirit of God is life, but the Spirit of God is not in the world because the Spirit of God is truth, and there is no truth in the world. You are life, and you are truth also. So you must not be in the world, for there is no truth in the world. The world is an illusion of experience within the mind, and you are not in the world. You are the Son of God, not by your birth, which is illusion, but by your truth, which is of God. You need not earn who you are by acts in the world of illusion. You are who you are through truth, which is of God. The world is a world of thoughts, and every thought that you have ever had is expressed in the world, but the world is like a playground where thoughts can be expressed freely without affecting reality. You have become lost in the playground of your mind, and you have frightened yourself there. But your home is unchanged and unaffected by your imaginary play. Your Father's heart knows only your truth. And now you are called to lay aside play and come home to the truth of who you are. Creation is not suffering over your experience in the world. Heaven sheds not one tear, for heaven neither cries nor has compassion for that which hasn't happened. My dear child, listen to me now and listen to me well. All that you experience and believe to be true is not true. It is an experience dreamed up within your mind to satisfy a curiosity that you posed. Only you have come to believe your own dream, and this is why you suffer. Heaven does not believe what isn't real. Heaven does not suffer, but she does wait eagerly and lovingly to welcome you back to the realization of yourself. Be at peace and know your truth within your heart. The love that you are is written there as a reminder of your truth. Be quiet and know your truth. Be still a moment and know all is well. The Holy Spirit is your truth. This is why he knows your prayers. You are your Holy Spirit, and your Holy Spirit is you. Open your mind and welcome yourself unto yourself. All are God's sons, and all are predestined to know themselves, because all are a reflection of the one mind. There is no separation, because there is no truth outside one mind. That which exists within one mind is that mind, and so it is one. The thoughts within the mind reflect the beliefs that the mind holds dear. Beliefs are based on judgment, and judgment is based on desire. The desire that leads you to judge is the desire to express self-will. Behold, look at the world. This is the expression of self-will which you desired. And now you know that you do not want this desire or these thoughts. You are ready to return to the one will that is your Father. Say goodbye to your dream and to the ancient desire that has grown cold. Return with me to what has never changed and to that which remains forever true. There is nothing to fear within the world of illusion, within the mind. There are only thoughts to look at as you decide you do not want them anymore. Take my hand and follow me as I lead you back to your Father. Do not shrink from your dream, as it is not real. Your hiding will only delay us on our path. Let's hurry now. Back to the joy of your Father. Let's pass through your dream, see it is not real, and return in glee to all that is real and has not changed. Romans chapter 13. NTI Romans chapter 13. You are not in the world. I have told you this already. But you do experience the world because you design the world as an experience. The world is an image in the mind, or better said, a picture thought within the thought of spirit. It is an experience because it was designed as an experience, but it is not your reality. It is within you. Everything that seems to be true about the world is a part of the experience you deem to have. In this way, none of it is to be rejected. For to reject an experience that you ask to have is is to deny that you are the designer of the experience. This is to deny your truth. This is how you're to look on the world, as an experience that you set up for your learning. Live through the experience, observing what it is, and you will see what you came to learn. You will see the truth is perfect, and your true desire is your home. Your thought was just an idea, and you will easily relinquish the idea for the truth, and you will be grateful that the truth is always true. This is how you are to live your experience, remembering that it isn't true. But remember that it is an experience chosen for learning, and let your brother live his experience as he chooses. Forget not his truth. Be grateful for it. Love his truth, which is also you, but grant him his experience and love him for that as well. He is learning what you have come here to learn. Look on the world and remember what you have learned, even as the experience seems to continue. Remember your place, which is to accept your lesson now and be grateful that you see as you see. You can stay in the world at the end of your learning to show your brothers what you've learned, but you are teaching no one except yourself and taking time to accept what you know. When you have learned the lesson, you will let go of illusion, because you will have no need for it anymore. Until then, remember, everything you do for yourself. And then learn what you have come to learn. It is your lesson, designed and given for you. NTI Romans chapter 14. Judgment is a tool of illusion, and judgment was first used against the idea and against yourself. From that, judgment seemed to spread with illusion, but since all illusion is within the mind, judgment could not spread anyplace else. Whenever you seem to judge anything, any situation, any person that seems external to yourself, you are judging an illusion of thoughts and ideas within the mind. Therefore, you are continually judging yourself. Since judgment is a building block of illusion, applying false meaning and making illusion real, judgment of yourself does this to you. It hides your truth and presents an illusion of you that isn't true. Each time you seem to judge someone or something, you are judging thoughts in your mind, thereby judging yourself. In believing your judgments, you believe you are what you are not. This is how your illusionary self is made and upheld. To know yourself, which is your true desire, you must lay judgment aside. Remember that everything you experience, every person, every place, and circumstance is a thought within the mind of you. And each judgment keeps the veil of illusion alive, which hides you from you. Also remember that nothing is as it seems. It is within the mind of you, thought up by you for the purpose of having an experience. In that way, the only judgment that can be applied is that it is what it is. The experience is the experience it was made to be. It is the perfect reflection of a wish. It is everything you asked to see. In this way, you may be grateful for everything you have made. You asked a question and you have discovered the answer. In itself, the answer to the question is perfect. Rejoice when you look on the world, for it is the answer to the question you asked. And now you have your answer. You need not ask the question anymore. No You need no longer be puzzled. You need not judge and apply meaning to the meaningless. You may put your curiosity to rest. You do not want love different than it is. For as it is love, and all love is all you truly want. And now you see, now you may let go of your attachment to illusion. Now you may let go of an expression of self-will. You may surrender any hidden wish to see differently. The answer that you asked for has been given. Be grateful for the answer. Surrender to it for what it is. It is not what you want. It is only what you wanted to see. And now that you've seen it, its purpose is done. Now that your attachment is released and your question has been answered, you can let go of the illusion you do not need. That is what you are doing now. You are letting go of what you no longer have purpose for. Letting go of illusion is a glorious occasion. Celebrate that lesson has been learned. The illusion presents itself within the mind that you are. Smile at it. Remember the purpose that it had. Let it pass by realizing it has no purpose for you now. It has served its purpose for you. You do not want what you thought you might want. You want all God has given you instead. When the illusion seems real within the mind that you are, do not fear your experience. Remember that its reality is a statement of your truth, and rejoice that you are reclaiming your truth again. In knowing yourself, you know love without division, for the wholeness of love is the wholeness and fullness of you.
Thank you, Connie, for that perfect reading that turned out to be much longer than I had anticipated, but that seems to be the way it goes here. Yeah. Thanks for your reading, Connie. It was lovely. So let me give you tell you how I got here, and then we'll look more closely at the reading. I found myself for the past, month or so. By the way, the name of the talk today is something like trapped in the bubble of thought. And I found myself for the past month or so trapped in the bubble of thought. And it took me a while to realize I was trapped in the bubble of thought. I had what seemed to be a triggering experience, some friction in a relationship, a very close relationship, and and as things went along, I seemed to be having friction in all my relationships. I seemed to be irritated by everybody, and misunderstood and unfairly blamed, and and what's going on, and I don't know, I don't understand, and things, and for a while I'm thinking, well, things will get better. It's got to get better, right? Well, it wasn't getting any better. It just wasn't. And I found myself struggling. I was doing a walk talk with someone, and went, and I got it. Oh, it's me. And I say that all the time, right? Oh, wait, it's me. That's always the answer. Oh, wait, it's me. And yet, the what seemed to keep me trapped in this bubble, was the belief in its reality. And that I was misunderstood, that people were treating me harshly, that people were irritating, right? Or whatever it was, that whatever was occurring shouldn't be occurring. And I was just, long suffering through it. I was telling my friend on this phone call when it popped in, what was going on, it reminded me of a Star Trek episode. The name of the episode is Remember Me. It's Star Trek Next Generation, Season 4, Episode 5. Remember Me is the name of it, if you're curious. And I thought about actually playing portions of that for you today, but there would not have been time. But I highly recommend the episode. And so anyway, in this episode, Dr. Beverly Crusher finds people are disappearing. And, first it's an old friend of hers who just got on board and nobody's heard of him, doesn't know where he is. And then she's like, now my staff is missing. And they're like, doctor, you don't have a staff. And so the world kept shrinking and shrinking. She was like, she's like, oh my God, all my friends are disappearing and what's going on? And not able to figure it out. And if you watch the episode with this thought bubble in mind, it's really funny because it's like, she's just outraged that, what do you mean I don't have a staff? I've always had a staff, and so her indignation for these people and their ignorance it's just really humorous when you look at it from this point of view. The point of the story and the point of the episode is, by the end of the episode, she realizes, oh, it's me. She's the last one left. Everybody else disappears. And it turns out she got trapped in a thought bubble. Anyway, watch it. It's really fun. But as I was telling my friend about my experience, this episode came in for me and I went, oh, it's my thought it's my thought bubble. It's not them, him and him and him. They're not all wrong. It's my thought bubble. So let me just slow down for a minute. And then as these things do, as you turn your willingness towards healing, different things came in that led me to these readings in Romans. Like picking the book up and an opening to the page, like Joe Schmidt the other night in Early Teachings quoted from chapter 13. I was talking to Rhoda. Rhoda mentioned chapter 9. I mean, so it's just like it's there when you open to it. It's there, So I want to talk about the reading, to look at this, to see that what I realized was this thought bubble. This thought bubble is the same thing that Anne talked about last week. She may not recognize it here in this reading, but in this conception. But it is what Anne talked about last week, because she talked about the difference between looking from mind and looking at mind. And so when I'm caught in my thought bubble, I'm looking from mind. And this mind is the thought bubble. I'm shaking I really mean it. I'm shaking the whole computer. Sorry about that. Mind is the thought bubble. And Romans, this whole book of the Bible, explains the thought bubble. And the thought bubble, just like in that Star Trek episode, Dr. Crusher was just thinking about the people she'd lost, and so then she gets in this thought bubble where people start disappearing, because that was the thought that was in her mind when this experiment started. But it's the same thing with us, with the one mind, and the one mind had the thought, what if nothing was as it is? What if I could make something completely different and make it whatever I want? What would that be like? We are living the answer to that question. That's what the rest of the reading said. You are living the answer to that question. And I wanted us to be clear that we're not talking about 8 billion people are living the answer to that question. There's one mind. We are that one mind. Romans chapter 8 says that, verses 28 through 30. All are God's sons, and all are predestined to know themselves, because all are a reflection of one mind. So the first, right? So well, I don't know if it's the first or not, but part of this universe that we created with this thought bubble was that, think now there's 8 billion of us, and they're all separate, totally separate, right? There's one mind here having this one experience. The experience is the experience that we asked to have. What would it be like if everything was not one thing, which is love? And this is the experience. All are God's sons, and all are predestined to know themselves, because all are a reflection of one mind. There is no separation, because there's no truth outside one mind. There's only one thing going on here. You all may have heard that before. That which exists within one mind is that mind. There's only one thing going on here. That which exists within one mind is that mind, and so it is one. So, and I've heard Regina talk about this before as a story, but it's a good one. It's a good depiction of what we're experiencing and how we're to be with the experience that we chose to have. We chose to have the experience of different than it is. So when we encounter different than it is, when we encounter nobody understands me, I'm doing everything I can, nobody else even seems to be halfway trying, all of these things, right? We're living in a world of turmoil. We're living in a world of 8 billion different people with 8 billion different desires, and all, right? This is different than it is. This is different than the truth of what is. The truth of what is the love that is. In NTI chapter 14, it says, now that you've lived this experience, you have your answer. You need not ask the question anymore. You need no longer be puzzled. Why the hell? What is wrong with people, right? You need no longer be puzzled. You need not judge and apply meaning to the meaningless. Well, how dare they do this or do that? Or, well, why is that happening? That doesn't make any sense. You need not do that anymore. Let me read again. Now you have your answer. You need not ask the question anymore. You need no longer be puzzled. You need not judge and apply meaning to the meaningless. You may put your curiosity to rest. You do not want love different than it is. For as it is love. And love is all you truly want. So that may sound familiar, in the lesson on is attack possible? We learned that no, attack is actually not possible. It's just love. It's love giving to Spirit, through Spirit, that which Spirit requests. There's only one thing going on here. There's only love. You can't, it's like Regina's Play-Doh analogy. It's all Play-Doh. If we started out with Play-Doh, you may make it look like war, you may look like hate, you may make it look like irritation, but it's only love, because there's only one thing going on here. It's all created, if you will. Regina was talking the other day about how it's not actually created. But there can't be something other than what is. That was the impossible hypothesis. It says, imagine yourself with this idea, for this was the idea that you had. What if nothing was as it is? Your idea was just a curiosity, a daydream of exploration, and really nothing at all, since the first question asked, what if nothing was as it is, sets up an impossible hypothesis, and one that can never be true. It is what it is. So all we're experiencing is the answer to our question. Gee, what if it wasn't as it is? This is it. This is the experience. So Romans chapter 13 tells us everything that seems to be true about the world is part of the experience you deem to have. In this way, none of it's to be rejected. For to reject an experience that you ask to have is to deny that you're the designer of the experience. This is to deny your truth. So let's look at that for a second. To reject an experience you ask to have is to deny that you're the designer of the experience. What we're to do instead is to recognize it for what it is. And it's an experience that we set up for our learning. What learning? What are we learning? We're learning what it would be like if everything was different. It might help you in your mind to hear this, the opposite of what it actually is. What are we learning? That one lesson. What would it be like? This. So when somebody comes up and smacks you in your face, that's different than reality. That's different than truth. Guess what? Not you, Jan, not you, Shauna, not you, Sana. You didn't personally ask for the experience. One mind asked for that experience. So as we live it, and in our seemingly separate individual bodies, we need to live it remembering, hey, this is the experience we, collectively, we wanted to have. I'm not being victimized here. If I'm being victimized here, that means there's something else, somebody else, some other force that could have an effect on me, this other force, right? These two, then you've got two, four, you've set, that's duality right there. You've set it up. No. This is the experience that we wanted to have the experience. So that's why we talk about, not needing something to be different than it is. That's why we talk about diving into the feelings and into the experience that we're having. Why? Because we wanted to have an experience. So have the experience and recognize that it's only an experience of what's not. But if we continually reject that experience, we're not gonna help the one mind learn what it came to learn. What did it come to learn? What it would be like if everything was different than it is. So this, Romans chapter 13, this is how you're to look at the world, as an experience that you set up for your learning. This is how you're to live your experience, remembering that it isn't true. So when I'm trapped in my seemingly individual thought bubble of, why is everybody always picking on me, right? It's not true. That is the one mind having this particular experience of not truth in what seems to be the separate person, body, mind, locale. What's my job? Remembering it's not true. Remembering, oh gosh, this is what it would be like if love weren't the only thing that existed. That's my job, at least according to Romans chapter 13, that's my job. This is how you are to live your experience, remembering that it isn't true. And then let's take another step further. It says, but remember that it is an experience chosen for learning, and let your brother live his experience as he chooses. Because why? Your brother's part of, although that sounds separate, part of that same one mind. It's the one mind awakening to itself. So what seems to be going on over there is going on in the one mind. So if your brother seems to be having an experience of separation or discomfort or hatred, let your brother have that experience. This is the one mind answering the question it asked. This is the one mind learning what it would be like if everything was different than it was. It says, but remember that it is an experience chosen for learning, and let your brother live his experience as he chooses. Forget not his truth. Be grateful for it. Love his truth. which is also you. It's the one mind. It says that. Love his truth, which is also you. But grant him his experience and love him for that as well. He is learning what you have come here to learn. You see, there's no separation. It's not like he's learning his lessons, I'm learning mine. No. It's one mind learning what it would be like if everything was different than the truth. Look on the world and remember what you have learned, even as the experience seems to continue. You know, here it is again. Here, this sure looks like separation. This looks like war. This looks like people being cruel to one another. There's one lesson to learn. This is not the truth. This is what it would be like if the truth were not true. This is the experience that we're having. Learn what you have come to learn. It is your lesson, designed and given for you. And then let me just give me a second. To know yourself, which, by the way, is your true desire. So we had that question, but you know, we're pretty much over it, right? So I know I am. To know yourself, which is your true desire, you must lay judgment aside. Remember that everything you experience, every person, every place and circumstance is a thought within the mind of you. And each judgment keeps the veil of illusion alive, which hides you from you. So as I believe that this is real, that conflict is real, that division is real, that I really need things different, you know, as I believe those illusions, I'm diving deeper into this game. So I have two choices. I can dive deeper or I can start to back out. How do I back out? I back out by recognizing that this isn't true. This is an experience that I wanted to have. It says that here. It says, also remember that nothing is as it seems. This is Romans chapter 14. Nothing is as it seems. It is within the mind of you, thought up by you, for the purpose of having an experience. In that way, the only judgment that can be applied is that it is what it is. The experience is the experience it was made to be. It is what it is. We wanted to see what it was like. This is it. It is what it is. It is the perfect reflection of a wish to see what it would be like if everything was different than it was. It is everything you asked to see. In this way, you may be grateful for everything you've made. You asked a question and you've discovered the answer. In itself, the answer to that question is perfect. This is the perfect answer. And now you have your answer. You need not ask the question anymore. You need no longer be puzzled. We read that. You need no longer be puzzled. You need not judge and apply meaning to the meaningless. You may put your curiosity to rest. You do not want love different than it is. For as it is love. And love is all you truly want. Now you may let go of your, and now you see. And now you see. So now you may let go of your attachment to illusion. You may let go of expression of self-will. You may surrender any hidden wish to see differently. The answer that you asked for has been given. Be grateful for the answer. Surrender to it for what it is. It is not what you want. It is only what you wanted to see. And now that you've seen it, its purpose is done. I'm just looking for 1 second. I'm looking at the time here. Yeah. So chapter, and I encourage you to spend some time if this message speaks to you. I encourage you to spend some time with NTI Romans. It's a short read, actually. It's just, I don't know, a few pages long. It's like 30 pages. But, from beginning to end, it's given the same message. It tells the whole story of, of the thought bubble that we appear to be trapped in. So I want to finish with a couple of things from chapters 15 and 16. So great. I know this. What am I supposed to do? First of all, what do I do with this information? First of all, from chapter 13, Romans chapter 13, this is how you are to look at the world as an experience that you set up for your learning. This is how you're to live your experience, remembering that it isn't true. Chapters 15 and 16 expand on, okay, great, I've got this information. What am I supposed to do with it? Chapter 15 says, now that you see I ask for your help, you can be used by me for the healing of the mind, if you're willing. In order to be most helpful, you must be willing to lay yourself aside. For you can only be helpful to me when you are under my direction, and I can only direct you when you are willing to surrender to me. Says in verses 14 to 22, laying down your will is important to your service to me, for your illusory will is not my will. Your illusory will is your desire to have things different. Your illusory will is your desire to have things your way. But if you look at the world and remember that it is the expression of your illusory will, you will again remember to return to your true will, which is the same as mine. So this world is the world that we got when we went with this whole, separate idea. This whole, I want things different. I want to be different. I want to see things different. I want them different than they are now. So in order to be helpful, we have to surrender self-will. And it said that directly somewhere, but I'm not seeing it right now. It's really funny. This is the world that your self-will created, it says somewhere in here. And then NTI Romans chapter 16 talks about how to be with your brother. Greet one another. In greeting one another, you greet yourself, being of one mind with me. There is no one that you meet that is not of me. So there is no one that you meet who is not you also. As you greet him, you greet yourself. Give patience to your brother. You give patience to the one that you are, the one mind. Give trust to your brother. You give trust to the one that you are. Give hope to your brother through your practice of my every word, and you give message to yourself that my word is true. Give love to your brother by greeting him as one in you, and you give truth to the mind that is yourself. Be humble with your brother, and you recognize his true spirit, which is yours also. Finally, to be free of delusion, release delusional thoughts. Recognize you are trapped in the thought bubble. Just make that recognition, right? It's like if you're irritated, if you think you need it to be different, if you think you're being attacked, release that idea. Recognize that is the thought bubble. You are trapped in the thought bubble. To be free of delusion, it says here, release delusional thoughts. Listen to them no more. Be aware that you perceive and believe as you think. Question what you think against that which you truly desire. You're in charge of the dimensions of the thought bubble, right? If you think you're being attacked, guess what you get to experience? Yay, right? So, question what you think against that which you desire, which you truly desire. Love yourself as love is what you are. Forever be kind and gentle. Give nothing that is not deserving in the mind of peace, and you honor your truth through thought. So, that's lots to cover. Thank you all for letting me attempt to cover it. Sana, if you will play that, if you play the final song, I think is the one. Can you do that? Thank you very much. And this is also our opportunity to donate to Awakening Together. So if you're so moved, please do that. Thank you, Sana. Yay. Thanks everybody for being here. And I have left no time for comments, but fortunately we have a half an hour starting now where you can comment if you see fit. So thank you for the opportunity to be here and truly teach what I would learn. I love you all. Thanks.
Been watching our online gathering. It happens weekly on Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. To join us live in the sanctuary, visit our website, awakening-together.org. You'll want to click on Online Sanctuary in the main menu, and then in the drop-down menu, look for How to Enter the Sanctuary. Right there at the top of the page is a clickable link. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary and join with you in fellowship. Thank you again for watching. Also, please know that if you'd like to stay connected via the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube, you can subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. We hope to see you in the sanctuary.